All right, all right, all right. Hey, how y'all doing today? It is the guy that JAZZELDA, the SHIIBOSS, the spiritual boss with the spiritual sauce. All right. So if this is your first time tuning in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I am the spiritual boss with the spiritual sauce, if I didn't already say that. But today I am going to be reporting and sharing my thoughts, my analytical data, my spiritual discernment, and my predictions for the case and situation concerning this young spirit known as Shanquella Robinson. Okay, so if you haven't already heard, just in case you've been under a rock, I will give a little overview of the case. Shanquella Robinson was a young female, age 25, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is from the United States and took a trip with some associates. I'm not going to say friends because people are calling these people her friends. I don't know why they're using that terminology. For lack of better words, I'm going to say associates or people that she was acquainted with. All right. She went on a trip with 6 other individuals to Cabo, Mexico. And she did not make it back home alive. Okay. She came back in a casket or a burial box. Not for sure exactly what style she came back in on. But the other 6 members that did participate in the trip, they definitely came back home safe and sound. And I think, as far as I know right now, their whereabouts are unknown. We'll get into that a little bit later. All right. So basically, an overview of what happened was they went on this trip. Apparently, her and 5 other people allegedly traveled at the same time to get over to Mexico. And that was on the night of the 28th or the day of the 28th. I'm not for sure, but what time it was. But they allegedly arrived on the 28th, and they were there for there's now this is what is kind of unclear. They're saying she was unalive within 24 hours of arriving, but sources are saying that the different stories are reporting different things. So some people are saying that she was deceased, or it is documented that she was deceased on the 30th, which would be more than 24 hours. But I think that the discrepancy is coming in on the fact that the associates or acquaintances that was on the trip that called her parents to let her parents know that something was going on with her, and she was in a critical medical condition. They were telling her that she was still conscious and alive on the beginning of the 30th, or as the 30th rolled in. Okay. It has yet to be determined if she was still alive at that time. My own personal opinion is that she was not. Her mom and her dad have done separate interviews about the situation from their perspective and what happened. And I think that originally they were saying that they believed that she was alive when they first got the call. But as the story began to unfold and more evidence came to the forefront, I did hear an interview, I think earlier today, where her mom said she does not believe that she was still alive when she received a phone call about her condition on the 29th. Okay. So that could be where some of the discrepancy is coming from. But sometime between the 28th and the 30th, she was reported deceased. Okay. So the friend, or this alleged best friend that she did know for sure on the trip, called her mom and her dad, or her family, and told them that she was having some issues with alcohol poisoning, and that they had called a nurse or someone who could give her medical treatment and that was coming to see about her. Now, this is where the story kind of gets sketchy and shaky. There's a lot of words that are being thrown around as in reference to what actually happened and what the truth is. Now, I wasn't going to do any reports on this because I'm taking a break from doing any kind of videos or commentary. But for some reason, this video really touched my spirit. So I wanted to go ahead and lay my predictions down because I'm trying to enhance my abilities to foresee and enhance my abilities of foresight. So I am very I'm usually pretty good about predicting things that are going to happen. I've been able to see things into the future for as long as I know. I wasn't really aware that that was one of my talents and abilities. But now that I know that, Spirit is leading me to speak on this and just go ahead and put my predictions out there, whether anyone sees it or not. But that's just so I can come back and say I told you so, and to let you know I'm the truth. All right. Also, this story touched my heart, and I feel like let's just get this straight from the beginning. They messed with the wrong with the wrong one. This was a chosen child, and I use chosen for lack of better words, but this was a light. This was a star seed, which means that she had a light, a special light around her. She had a special aura around her, and I picked up on that after digging into the story and researching the story and listening to a lot of different reports. But something resonated me when I seen her picture. It's in the eyes. All right. So this is why I felt compelled to even report on this and do this video. So I'm going to try to keep everything in line here. All right. I'm going to give a timeline of events, and I'm going to speak on what I think happened, and I'm going to speak on what I think is going to come out as the story continues to unfold. All right. So forgive me if I'm all over the place. I'm going to try to keep things in chronological order. All right. Spirit, I just ask that you come and speak through me as I seek the right word play to speak on this situation. I want to send my condolences to the family and ask that you lead and guide my tongue as I relay the message that you have laid upon me about this case. This case will be resolved, and justice will be prevailed on this one. Please believe that. I don't know why they did that or why they decided to touch this soul, but they bought some really bad outcomes on themselves when they did. And I'm telling you right now, they really did. They really did. All right, so this is what I usually do whenever I'm doing some research on a topic or subject. I usually try to research or use about 10 different resources pertaining to the topic. So I've looked at least 10 different reports, news reports, media, the main news, the smaller news, YouTube news, podcasters, bloggers, TikTokers, everywhere. IG, I have watched the interviews from the family members with the mother and the father. I have not seen the sister speak. I just heard of her in reference. Allegedly, the account based on one of the associates that was on a trip as well. I think that's since been deleted. And I also went even as far as to look at several different spiritual readers and reporters, because one thing about this, that came to mind in my mind instantly was the word sacrifice. And I wanted to, something just stuck out to me, and it kept saying sacrifice, sacrifice. Now, it could be because of the date of this event, and it could be because people have been tossing that word around. But I also believe that it's something more to it than what people are thinking. And there are some words that kept jumping out, especially within the spiritual coverings, because the thing is, all of these spiritual people that I have been listening to about, what they say about the situation, reading the cards and things of that nature, they all have repeatedly said a lot of the same thing over and over again. All right, a couple of words stuck out. And I'm gonna tell y'all those words. I'm writing them down as I remember them because I want to get to the point. I don't want to hold y'all up too long. All right. So let me just say this also. I feel like Shanquella, this is the and one of the things that the moral of the story is very, not only important that we pay attention to who our friends is and know our friends. I tell my friends and associates all the time, pay attention to people's energy. Stop looking at people for who they are on the surface level. I don't give a damn if it's your family, your friends, it could be your kids, it could be your parents, it could be your pastor. Pay attention to people's energy. Stop looking at them for the person that is standing in front of you, because people come with energy. And a lot of times when you're not reading their energy, we have a tendency to overlook what our spirit and our intuition is telling us about a person or a situation that is telling us what to do, but we just go against the grain and we don't listen to it. We got to understand what tuition is and why it's even a thing. All right, your tuition is like your built-in GPS guide. It's never going to lead you astray, and it's never going to tell you the wrong thing for you. Nobody else can hear your intuition, and your intuition doesn't speak to anybody else, just like nobody else's intuition speaks to you. So it's very important that people pay attention to their intuition, just like my intuition is telling me to do this, even though I'd rather not. But my intuition is telling me, so I'm gonna go with my intuition because I never question my intuition. What I do know is that whatever I do, what I'm led to do, the purpose or the reason or results always reveal themselves in due time. All right. So when it's time for you to see what it is that you need to see, it'll come to you. But let me tell you something. Don't be fooled. Shanquella knew she had an intuition that she did not. Her intuition told her, do not go on this trip. And I believe that what was going on is, I believe it's one of those situations where, and there's a reason I call these people her acquaintances, because I don't think she knew everybody that was on the trip. I don't think she knew them personally, or she had a personal relationship. I think it was more like a friend of a friend type of situation. I think that Shanquella was financially stable. I think she had a good, financial situation. She also has very loving and a caring family unit and support, and that's a very big deal, especially when you're a shining star and you got it from both ends and both sides. I love the interview that I watched with her dad, because he was stressing, that he's not a deadbeat father, and he will do whatever he can that he has to do to avenge his daughter's death, and that he will make sure that she did not go in vain. And I think that's very important, because I think that's one of the reasons why this situation was, I'm gonna say, premeditated to take place over in another country. And there's a couple of reasons why. When I'm stopping, I'm just writing down things that are coming to me while I'm talking so that I don't forget. So this is what I'm getting. This is what I'm getting from the situation. It's giving me 2 or 3, let's just say 4 people, maybe, decided that they wanted to go on a trip. This was a trip that these friends have taken before. There have been pictures or evidence that have revealed that this is not the first time that they've actually even been to Mexico. And I'm just going to go a little bit further and say that more than likely they've actually been to this location, not this maybe particular villa, but to Cabo. All right, without Shanquella. Okay. The other 6 people that were acquaintances that went on the trip, they were all affiliated and associated with each other. They had been friends for years. I do feel like maybe 1 to 2 of those people she had been friends with for a long time. Now, they did specify that one particular person, which was supposed to be her best friend on the trip, which was a guy, which I think he's allegedly a little, you know what I'm saying, there's a little sugar in his tank. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute, why that's might be an important factor in this situation. I think that she knew the girl. There's a videotape that surfaced of this young lady attacking Miss Robinson. And the reason I say attacking, it wasn't really a fight because she was not fighting back, and she even stated that she was not going to fight back. Now, I don't know for sure. I can't verify or authenticate the video, but I did see an interview of her mother saying that she is testifying or confirming that is her daughter, Shanquella Robinson, in the video. All right. The young lady that jumped on her, I believe that she's been knowing her for a while. Probably even maybe longer than the so-called alleged best friend. I don't think that they were necessarily friends. I just think that they knew each other from childhood. Because there was something coming up in the cards that a lot of these spiritual readers were saying that this was like a childhood acquaintance, or they had known each other for a while. All right. And I think it's one of those situations where you got people from a small, town. Everybody know everybody, so it's hard for people not to know you, especially when you got something going on. You got a business, you're successful, you getting money, people noticing you. And then she was a beautiful woman, had a very, nice, cute, petite face, shape, you know what I'm saying, a pretty face. She's doing her thing. She's shining like the star that she was. I definitely believe that breeds a lot of room for jealousy, hatred, and enviousness, especially amongst people who are probably not doing the same thing and not where they want to be in life. All right. A lot of people will look at you and hate you for no reason just because you have a certain type of light or aura about you. And you don't even know it because you're not a hateful, envious, or jealous person. And if you haven't done anything, a lot of people be like, well, I don't know why they hating on her or why they hating on me. I haven't done anything to them. And the thing about it is you just have people that you don't have to do anything to in order for them to hate you, because the type of energy that they represent is the reason why they hate you. You know what I'm saying? Hell, they don't even know why they hate you. And really, they don't need a reason. They just want to hate because they don't know what else to do with themselves. So that's what this type of situation was. I hate that she went on this trip, but it was indicated in several different readings that she had a intuition, she had an inkling that she didn't need to go on this trip, and that these people were not associates that were in her best interest. All right. I think that she was going through a point of ascension where she was leveling up, and she was getting to the point where she knew that she needed to cut certain ties with certain people. If anybody has gone through this process of awakening, leveling up, feeling like they're ascending or they're growing, and you'll notice that certain friends or certain energies around you are not going in the same direction. They're not moving at the same pace as you. They're not elevating in the same manner as you are. You will lose those attachments along the way. It's actually part of the process. It's important that you actually shed those connections as quickly as possible, because once you do, it ain't nothing but blessings on the other side. A lot of times those energies are blessing blockers. And I think that she was started to feel that and know that. She had that inclination before she went on that trip. She just decided against her better judgment to still go. I feel like the friend, his name is Khalil. I feel like the friend coerced her, convinced her, laid the guilt trip on her to go on the trip. I feel like she was a major key factor in the actual finances of the trip happening, because I feel like it's one of those group situations. Like I said, it was like probably like 3 or 4 people wanting to go on go on a trip. They knew the price. They knew that they really probably couldn't afford the trip, but didn't mind scraping and scrounging for the coins to get it together. I think that they try to figure out, okay, who else can we get to go on this trip that has the money, who can afford it, or who can help cover and balance out some of the costs for the others. All right. Now, people are speculating that she paid for somebody to go on this trip. I don't know. That hasn't been confirmed. I haven't seen that anywhere. But what I will say is I definitely believe that she was one of the key components in, like I said, financing the trip, as far as making the load lighter for everyone else. Maybe even covered additional, cost and tabs for certain people who couldn't afford to pay for it all. Maybe, you know, had to wait they got back and, you know, pay her back from their paycheck, something to that nature. I do feel like that probably could have been the case. I do feel like they did conspire to set her up, but not in a way that everybody's thinking.